Amish compost secret. Add this and waste vanishes in days. If you've ever stared at your compost pile and wondered why it seems to take forever to break down, you're not alone. I've been there too, turning, watering, waiting, and still stuck with half-rotted scraps months later. But here's the thing, the Amish, with their deep-rooted knowledge of soil stewardship, have quietly been using a method that gets organic waste breaking down in days instead of months. When I first learned about this little composting secret, I couldn't believe how simple it was. And today I'm going to share it with you, right here on Soilsage Chronicles. Let's dig in. Why the Amish compost method works so fast. The Amish don't have fancy compost bins, tumblers, or store-bought accelerators. Their approach is grounded in one principle: feed the microbes exactly what they need to work at full speed. While many of us casually toss kitchen scraps and garden waste into a pile, the Amish carefully balance ingredients to create a microbe-friendly feast. The secret? It all comes down to adding one powerful, natural booster that most gardeners overlook: fresh livestock manure mixed with bedding straw. Manure, especially from cows, horses, or chickens, provides the nitrogen kickstart microbes crave. The bedding straw, sawdust, or shavings that come with it provides the carbon backbone. Together they ignite a microbial firestorm that tears through waste in record time. When I tried it for the first time, my pile heated up to over 150 degrees Fahrenheit in less than 48 hours. Kitchen scraps that normally sat around for weeks were gone in just days. That's the kind of composting power the Amish have relied on for generations. The secret ingredient is really this simple manure plus bedding. Let's break it down clearly. When you add raw kitchen waste, like fruit peels, vegetable scraps, or coffee grounds, on its own, it's got plenty of moisture and nitrogen, but not enough bulk or balance. That's actually why piles go slimy or smelly. The Amish fix this instantly by mixing it with manure and bedding materials from their barns. Manure fuels the pile with nitrogen, which is basically the fast food energy microbes need. Bedding, whether it's straw, hay, or sawdust, provides the structure and carbon to balance things out. The two combined mimic the perfect carbon-to-nitrogen ratio, which is kind of the holy grail of fast composting. Instead of waiting for scraps to rot slowly, the microbes multiply like crazy, generating heat, breaking down fibers, and transforming waste into dark, crumbly compost almost overnight. You don't need a barn full of animals to use this method, though. If you garden in town, you can source fresh manure from local farms, stables, or even neighbors who keep chickens. Trust me, most small farmers are more than happy to share if you ask politely. They see it as waste. But for us gardeners, it's black gold. So, here's the exact way I adapted the Amish approach in my backyard, and honestly, it's something you can replicate easily, no matter where you garden. First, start with a base layer of coarse browns. I like to use sticks, corn stalks, or shredded dry leaves. This gives air circulation at the bottom. Second, add your kitchen waste, vegetable peels, fruit scraps, coffee grounds, tea leaves, all of it goes in. Chop or shred larger pieces to speed things up. Third, top with fresh manure and bedding. This is the magic layer. A few inches of cow, horse, or chicken manure mixed with straw or bedding goes right on top of your food scraps. If manure isn't available, rabbit or goat manure works too, and even just bedding straw alone is better than nothing. Water lightly. You want the pile damp, kind of like a wrung-out sponge. Too wet and it suffocates, but if it's too dry, the microbes just stall out. Turn after 3 days. By day 3, the pile should be hot to the touch. Turn it with a fork, mixing the outside with the inside. You'll see half-broken scraps just melting into rich compost. Repeat the layering. Keep adding food scraps followed by manure and bedding. This Amish sandwich method keeps the pile balanced and hot until everything's broken down. I've seen piles fully broken down in just 14 to 21 days with this method. Compare that to the usual 3 to 6 months of backyard composting and you'll understand why this is such a game changer. What about smell and flies? I know what you're thinking, manure sounds messy. But here's the beauty of this method. The bedding mixed into the manure actually absorbs odors and keeps the pile from going slimy. When the pile is hot, it doesn't attract flies either. The trick is to always cover food scraps with manure and bedding. Think of it like tucking your waste in under a warm microbial blanket. The top stays neat and earthy, and the magic happens underneath. So why is this compost so powerful? The finished compost from this method is unlike anything you'll get from a slow, cold pile. Because the process is so hot and fast, it kills weed seeds, pathogens, and pests. What you're left with is fine-textured, nutrient-rich humus that smells like a forest floor after rain. When I added it to my tomato beds, the plants responded almost immediately. Lush, green growth, strong stems, and blossoms everywhere. It's the kind of soil food that doesn't just feed your plants, but rebuilds the whole underground ecosystem. Absolutely. If you don't have easy access to fresh manure, don't give up on this secret just yet. You can mimic it with other high nitrogen and bedding-like materials. Here are some alternatives I've tested. Coffee grounds and shredded cardboard, which is honestly a surprisingly good substitute. Grass clippings and dry leaves also work well, as long as you layer them thinly to avoid matting. And if you live near a brewery, spent brewery grains mixed with straw is, well, pretty much gold. While these won't be quite as fast as true manure and bedding, they can still cut your composting time in half compared to kitchen scraps alone. Here's what I want you to remember. Composting doesn't have to be complicated or slow. The Amish keep it simple, and that's why it works. Add the right mix of nitrogen-rich manure and carbon-rich bedding, and you'll have the fastest, healthiest compost of your life. Once you see how quickly your pile transforms, you'll never look at waste the same way again. Every banana peel, carrot top, or weed you pull becomes part of a living cycle that feeds your soil. That's the heart of gardening, the quiet joy of turning waste into abundance. So that's the Amish composting secret in a nutshell. Add fresh manure mixed with bedding and watch your waste break down in days instead of months. It's simple, it's powerful, and it works whether you're farming acres or tending a few raised beds. If you found this guide helpful, I'd love for you to stick around. Subscribe to Soilsage Chronicles for more hands-on soil wisdom, and share this article with a fellow gardener who's struggling with slow compost. Together, we can bring back the old ways of soil care and make them thrive in our modern gardens.